Do you ever find yourself saying the word just to minimize yourself, maybe to downplay what you're about to say? This episode is for you. Hello, my beautiful, gorgeous dance baby, and welcome to another episode of More Than Dance. Today, we are talking about another no-no word because I know you love the Word Shift series. Today, we're talking about the word just. And I find this word to be a very minimizing word. All of the words that I choose for the Word Shift series are words that are obviously in our English language that we use. And I think knowing that you have the option to not use them and that you and your elevated higher self can choose better vocabulary for yourself to use, even if internally versus externally, it's so helpful for you as you grow into your future self, because that's what we're all doing. We're getting ready to be the best versions of ourselves, and that best version is there within us, and the outcome of it showcases itself in the future because we're not there yet. So today we're talking about just, and I just want you to think about the times where you say just. You might be saying oh, I'm just learning dance, or I'm just going to go and do this right now, or I just wanted to ask you a question, or I'm just trying. That's like a twofer because we got the word try and we got the word just. Or if you've ever had anyone say I just wanted to check in, or I was just wondering, or maybe when you're sharing feedback, or you might even have a precursor sentence where it's this might be a little bit blank, but I just wanted to mention, or I'm probably overthinking, but or even when you're talking about your passions and the things that you love, oh, it's just a dance class, or oh, I just picked it up, it's okay, or it's just something I'm trying, it's just something I started doing, I was just helping out. Or even when you're setting boundaries, oh, I just can't make it today, or I just need a little space. It's funny because just can sometimes feel like it's the present moment, I just messed up, or I just went over there, and that feels like you need to say it. I get that. Also, when you're thinking about your accomplishments, you might say oh, it's just luck, or oh, I just happen to have a good day that day. Even in your emotions, I'm just a little sensitive. And what these all have in common, all these examples, it's a way of minimizing what is real for you, your current real experience, and the presence that you have towards that experience. So when you're thinking about how you can elevate your words so that your brain is listening to your higher self versus your lower self, or I don't really want to say the word lower, but the self of you that is not as elevated as your higher self is coming to be. Just as a way to soften ourselves. So much like the I'm sorry, if you haven't listened to that one we just did. It's a way to minimize you. It minimizes you, yes, but also minimizes your effort. It's a downplaying word where you might be bringing a lot of value with what you're just saying, and already you're minimizing your worth, and you're teaching other people to minimize it as well. It also signals uncertainty, and that might feel comfortable for you, especially in situations where you feel out of your comfort zone. So it might soften the blow to say, I was just doing it's making it so we see less of you, because as you learn to hold yourself with the poise that you're coming to hold and the grace that you have, I just think of a very strong backbone, a very strong vertebrae. That's what happens when you build your confidence. You notice that you end up being more erect with your posturing, and a person in that element where they're feeling their most confident, they won't say just. So this goes back to the Be Do Have episode, which I always reference, episode 27. When you're able to be in this posturing, you're allowing yourself to show up strong and to show up with power and to show up as an example of what maybe you wished that you could be prior to who you are now, or maybe it's still someone that you are becoming, because we're all a work in progress. I am too. I'm working on things every week, every day, thinking about how I can improve. And I'm showing you examples of small things that I have done that have helped me not minimize myself. And these words are a big player in that. As soon as you say just, I always think of this visual of like, I think I explained this in the I'm sorry one, because you're going, picture like a crowded area and you're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm just, I'm just squeezing by. It's almost like instead, like, hi, here I am, like I need to get through. But obviously we don't want to come off as that assertive or even that. I think what gets skewed is like this entitlement. And it's kind of funny. Actually, this might be a good time to share this story. So I was at the eye doctor's recently, and there was this woman. She's so cute. Her name's Deb. And we met, obviously. I love to meet friends when I'm out and about. And we sat next to each other while we were waiting. And then we saw each other again because I was getting my glasses like adjusted, making them a little tighter. And she was picking out glasses, and she was just having like a moment, I think, when she was picking it out. And I've felt this way before, where I've been picking something out and it feels a little hard because the options are endless and maybe you don't feel so good about yourself in the moment. So it's hard to pick something so amazing out because you don't feel amazing yet. And she had maybe like 7 glasses like on the table that she was putting on, and she was putting them on with one hand because her other hand was immobile. And we were just talking, and she said something like, oh, I could never wear these. And I don't work there, but I do know the people there pretty well. And I was like, and I looked at the girl who works there and I was like, can you believe she said that? And she goes, I know. She goes, what are you going to do, Chrissy? Like, because she knows that like I own a studio. And I was like, well, so I felt like I had like full permission to like do what I do, which is to help people reframe in a moment like that. So I was like, and at that point I didn't know her name. I was like, hi, I'm Chrissy. I own a dance studio. I help people find their confidence and fall in love with their bodies through dance. And she was like, oh, hi, like I'm Deb. Like, she was like, oh, I'm just trying to pick out some eyeglasses. And she told me her story. And I was like, well, I happen to hear that you don't think you can pull off these glasses. And they were pink and they had like sparkle on the side. And honestly, like when I looked at them, I was like, oh, those are so her. Like, so I was like, oh, Deb, you have to put them on. And so she puts them on, and she's like going like this. And me and the other girl were like, oh, yeah, like those are it. Like a exact, like, yeah, that's obviously it. And she wasn't there yet. You could tell she liked them. She was like, these? She goes, oh, I really do like these, but I don't think I can pull them off. I just feel like I'd be sending the wrong message, or I might look like I'm entitled. And I was like, what, because of your glasses? Like, you think that people are gonna like think that you can't pull off the glasses that look so good on you? And we got into this conversation. She goes to tell me like a part of her life story where she did pageants, did really well. And so I'm like, well, of course you can pull these off. Like, look at you. And so she's looking at the mirror and she's looking at the other mirror and she's like, is this too much? I was like, absolutely not. And I find that that's such a question that we ask ourselves when we're not there yet, but we're already there. Like, our physical body is there. Our outward representation is practically ready, and it needs the boost from our internal representation, because the internal is going to say like, no, no, those aren't for you. So now she's telling us, she's like really lighting up, and she's like, well, my daughter is getting married and these would be really cool with the color I think I'm going to wear, like a purple mauve. And I was like, and we're both like seeing it so obvious, like those are obviously the glasses, but she did have like 7 others to try. So we're like, try on the other ones, let's see them. And so she's putting them on, and in a moment like that, this is a moment that I see very often with women. And I think it's because the way that I have been in this world since I was young was kind of always outspoken, always doing the thing that people don't think you would do, being maybe louder or being very extroverted, doing things that would make people be like, she's crazy, I love her. But also like, I could never do that, say that. And we're all different. So no, I'm not trying to make you like I am. I am, though, showing you the possibilities of how you can show yourself to the world, one, but also be yourself, because how great does it feel to be so authentic and not have to hold back for what and for who? Like, holding back for a judgment. In other words, what I gathered from that was she was holding back on these like wicked cute glasses that fit her face so perfectly. We didn't even talk about that yet. And she's holding back because she doesn't want to be too much. And it's like that belittling thing that we do, especially women, where we kind of like shrink ourselves, we make ourselves smaller. And I'm a firm believer that when we change the way that we're speaking, we can appear like we have more respect for ourselves. So therefore, in turn, have more respect for us. When I said that before, like about, oh, excuse me, like I'm coming through. I'm not saying like, it's me, I'm walking through. It's not that entitlement, which I feel as though in observing and talking and having conversations like the one I just told you about, I find that people feel like it goes from two options. Either I minimize myself or I'm entitled and I'm conceited and I'm like the person that I don't want to be, that I know that other people do not like. Number one, that all has to do with people thinking about you and judgment and thinking about yourself in terms of what other people see. And we know what to say to that. And the other, that's like hard too, right? To say. Like it's very hard to not care what people think. We know this. This is like a long game, a long goal. It's long. And my question is always, how does it go from being so small and so like mousy to no, now you're just like kind of like an a-hole? Like, no, that's not how there is an in between, believe it or not. And that's the beauty of and. So you can be polite and you can also be respectful to yourself. You can be respectful to others and you can be respectful to yourself. It's not one or the other. She ended up buying the glasses. I know you were wondering. She totally bought them. Like she's going to wear them for the wedding, she says. Hopefully she does. They looked great on her. And so not only is this a reminder of this word just, it's also a reminder of when you catch yourself in those moments where you're saying, oh, I could never do that. Or I could never. And I've noticed this because I'm on this end of it where I am kind of like crazy. Like I'm the one dancing out at the thing where no one's dancing. I'm the one that's like doing crazy stuff or asking silly questions just because I'm experiencing life. And I love to experience life and I love to have fun. So it's almost like having fun and playing around with life and knowing that you shrinking yourself isn't you expanding yourself. And you just doing this is not, and oh, believe me, I catch myself saying just, especially in the presence, like that section of when I was speaking about how like it feels like it's, I just went over here. Like I hear myself saying that, but even that is still minimizing. It's still saying like, I just went over there. No, I went over there. That's what I did. I did that. It just happened. It happened. So I try to even saying try. You hear me saying try. I'm also working on eliminating that too. Because trying is doing and doing is trying. Like you tried already because you did it. So what I'm saying right now is this is work that I'm doing as well. And we can do it together. I think as women, we're always thinking like, oh, how can I be likable? How can I kind of like slide on through and do the minimum so that like no one's going to think this of me or think that of me? And what I realize and what I see, especially through watching my students, is they're not living the fullest to their capacity. And it does harm, but in a very sneaky way. The harm isn't like, ouch, I hurt myself. It's like the slow, repetitive, oh, you know what it is? It's like the Shawshank Redemption. It's literally like, oh, I don't want to spoil it because you got to see that movie, but it's like that. If you know, you know, because it's that type of tiny, tiny progress that chips away and it chips away at you. It's like reverse progress, minimizing yourself, treating yourself like you're less than. So instead of saying, I'm just learning, say, I'm learning. Instead of saying, I just wanted to ask, I wanted to ask. Or I have a question. Instead of saying, oh, it's just a dance class, say, I'm a dancer. Dance matters to me. I love dance. Remember that you are always teaching people how you want to be treated with the way that you treat yourself. People learn from observation. Think about how babies learn. They're always learning because they're seeing. When your words to yourself get stronger, your body will follow. And it will kind of be this like step in moment where you're just like, huh, I've arrived. Here I am. So the next time you find yourself at dance class, it's not that you're just learning choreography. You are learning choreography. You are doing all of the hard work to get ready for class, go out in the cold, find a parking spot, get inside, wear a cute outfit, stay focused, stay present, learn, remember, socialize. There's a list of things that you do for everything that you do, even if you haven't come to dance yet. You're looking at the site, maybe. You're looking about how you can figure it out in your schedule. Maybe you're having conversations about dance, and maybe that's helping you get ready. All of those things get credit. And if you minimize them, then the world will minimize it with you. So I told Josh, like, oh my gosh, guess what? Like while you were at the gym, like I not only went to the gym and I got laser hair removal. And he was like, oh my God, that's awesome. And he got it. But had it been different, had it been like, oh, Chrissy, like, what did you do? Oh, I just went to the gym and I just got some laser hair removal. He would be like, cool. But instead he met me back with my excitement. He was like, oh my God, already? Knowing that it was freaking cool. So here are some reflection opportunities for you for this week when you're thinking about the word just. First, you can do a fun little assessment. That's a scarier word than it needs to be. Hold on. You can do a fun little awareness check and see how often you are saying just. Where you say it automatically. I know like the question one is a very common one, like, oh, I just had a quick question. I have a question. And now like, ooh, the intrigue, like, what is this question going to be? The next question is, what are you trying to protect yourself from when you say the word just? And the third is, and I love this one because it's so obvious, what would it sound like if you didn't say the word just? And I gave you some examples just a second. See, look at, there it is. Just a second ago. I gave you some examples a second ago. Even right there where I said just a second ago, that's me minimizing how long it was. So in other words, I'm saying I said this and it wasn't that long ago. It can be fresh in your head. So I'm saying the word just to say it wasn't that long ago. Like I just said it. You remember? So even in that example, which is more of like a positive example of just, it's still minimizing. It was minimizing the length of time. It was just a second ago. But imagine if you're cracking away at yourself saying, you just this, you just had a question, you just have a passion, you just have a small interest in dance. No, you have a very large interest in dance. So what would it sound like without it? Oh, it would sound really, really easy. It's probably harder to say it without it in the beginning. But when you omit it, it's not missing something. Your sentence still makes sense. I was just gonna ask this. Is there a minute? Do you have a minute for me to ask the question that I have? You can still be polite. Oh, I love it. So nothing about you needs to be downsized. And I hope that these word shift series help you see that. And your presence does not need permission. So when you're just quietly walking by, like, be loud, be big, show your presence, be you. The people who are going to love you are going to love you. And the people who aren't, they're not going to, even if you just do that. They're actually not seeing you anyway. So it's like they can't even really choose. So show up and be yourself. And if you absolutely need permission, there you have it. There's the permission right there. But who am I to give you that permission? Just know that you have it within you. And sometimes you just need a little nudge so that you can do what you're ready to do, which is hopefully come to the dance floor and dance with me. So I hope that this was helpful and that you're able to change your language so that you can ultimately show up as the beautifully confident person that you already are. And if it was helpful, it would mean the world to me if you shared this with a friend or even on your Instagram to show a dancer just like you on their dance journey. Help them out. Let them see the possibilities. You just found some gold. Share it with the world. My name is Chrissy. This is More Than Dance, and I will see you on the dance floor.